It's pretty,
it's delightful. Look, lamb fat. Who doesn't love lamb fat? We decided to take three different approaches to lamb fat today. We have a lamb loin that's been wrapped in lamb belly, so I'm counting that as some of the fat. Lamb sweetbread beignets that are going to be dusted with lamb fat powder. And then we've taken Yukon Gold potatoes and confit them in lamb fat. When people talk about lamb being sort of gamey and, for lack of a better word, lammy, usually the thing that is most responsible for that is the lamb fat. Another component of the dish that we're going to use are some maitake mushrooms. We're going to sear in just a little bit of duck fat. This is a lot more hard and generally unattractive, as opposed to voluptuous, smooth duck fat. Pork fat and duck fat are usually our first two choices, you know. Lamb fat, beef fat would probably be third choice. Lamb fat would be last. It can be kind of tedious, but I really like to shake butter into reduced sauces when I can, as opposed to whisking it, because I find that it gives the sauce a little bit better sheen and thickens it a little bit better. When you just whisk it in, sometimes it doesn't really emulsify as strongly. We'll add a little lamb fat to them for good measure. I don't want anybody saying that I didn't use the main ingredient enough. So we're going to make some roasted lamb fat powder to put on our lamb sweetbread beignets. We opted to roast the lamb fat to render it, which is why the lamb fat here has a sort of like slightly golden quality to it. We take modified tapioca starch called tapioca maltodextrin. Put that in the food processor, and with the machine running, we will add in a little bit of the lamb fat powder. The lamb fat itself, and the tapioca maltodextrin absorbs the fat but retains its fluffy, powdery texture. So now we'll have a light powder that tastes like roasted lamb fat and dissolves on your tongue. We have a lamb loin that has been wrapped in cured lamb belly, which you could call bacon, I suppose. And then we're going to sear it in a little bit more of the roasted lamb fat. And so now we're going to do one of the things that horrifies diners when they see us do it, which is we love to baste meats with foaming butter and herbs. It's one of the reasons why your food tastes so good. Fortunately, the vast majority of the butter is left in the pan and not on the food. Hardly any butter left. So we have a saddle of lamb that was wrapped in cured lamb belly, butternut squash, Yukon Gold potatoes, confit and roasted lamb fat, maitake mushrooms, lamb sweetbread beignets dusted with roasted lamb fat powder, and a red wine and lamb jus. I don't know, about 4 or 5 applications of lamb fat.
So on a lamb fat scale from hardly notice it to damn that's gamey.
You definitely notice it, but if we've done our job, it's not damn that's gamey. Nostalgic memories of lamb roasted on a spit over the hearth at your grandmother's house. Natto is a fermented soybean. When it's stirred, it has strings of mucus that come off of it. With his background in Mexican cooking, working with Rick Bayless for as long as he has, I thought natto would be way out of his comfort zone.